let's take a second to talk about phoned in driver complaints. All right. If you've worked for any company that has any amount of drivers for any amount of time, you have had somebody call in and complain about your driver. Oh, your driver's one of the worst drivers I've ever seen. He cut me off in traffic. He did this, he did that, blah, 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 whatever. How do you guys handle them? I'm going to tell you what we do. We take every one of those complaints seriously, and we go and investigate it. Now, we have Lytx cameras, and we have Geotab that allows us to monitor speeds and hard brakes and things like that in trucks. We have a lot of information out there that we can use to help see and verify the validity of these claims these people are making. And more often than not, that claim starts with just a little bit of fact, and then they blow it way out of proportion. And I'm not going to stop investigating them. I'm not going to stop looking into them, because it's always a learning experience. We can try to take something from any one of those calls to try to help our driver not to make them mad, because it is a reputation thing at the end of the day. But man, sometimes they're just a little out there. We had one of our drivers, this just recently happened. He was pulling out of a store, and this gentleman felt like he pulled out in front of him. Now, from our perspective on our camera, I can't tell. I don't know. What I can tell is that our driver pulled out in the road, and so if you pulled out in front of him, you get mad. That's fine, whatever. Maybe our driver was in the wrong there. At this point, I don't know. Well, this guy proceeds to pass our truck on a 2-lane road. I don't remember if it was in a passing zone or not. I think it was. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say he was. But he proceeds to, for the next 15 to 20 minutes, go below the speed limit, speed up, slow down, slam on his brakes. At one point, our driver tries to pass him because they're doing about 40 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone, and this gentleman speeds up to not allow our driver to pass him. Finally, a little further down the road, our driver does get past him, and to our driver's knowledge, that's the end of it until he thinks the guy's following. So he turns around, he passes where he's supposed to go, turns around at another location just up the road, goes back to where he's supposed to be at to park for the day, and here comes that same gentleman pulling up in that parking lot. Now, our driver, to his credit, at that point triggered the camera and gave a statement saying, hey, I'm not really 100% sure what I did to make this guy angry, but he's here in the parking lot. Looks like he's waiting for me, blah, blah, blah. Turns out at that point that guy was on the phone with the company, and we were getting details from him. So fast forward, that guy also sends us, he has a dash cam, and he sends us his video. And what we see in that video doesn't exactly line up with what he said. I mean, he had a lot of distance when our driver pulled out. Maybe our driver did pull out a little bit prematurely, but not as aggressively as this guy made out to be. And even then, I don't believe that it justifies that particular driver, the other gentleman, his actions for the next 20 to 25 minutes total, following our driver back and everything else. So this is one of those cases where I talked to the driver and gave him the advice that if he has somebody that's doing that kind of stuff in front of him, the best bet is to either slow down more, or if possible, even pull over and just let that guy go on about his day. Obviously, he's having a worse day than you are, and that's okay. But otherwise, I mean, I don't feel like our driver did anything wrong. He maintained his composure. He was calm. He was respectable. He tried to stay away from that guy and give enough following distance. I mean, he tried to do everything right. This guy just was a little agitated at that particular point in time. So anyway, like I said, we investigate all those reports, but for anybody who may watch this, I'd like to know, what do you do? What is your company's policy when somebody calls in and says one of your drivers cut them off in traffic? What do you do? That's all I got for this week. I'll see you guys next time.
Highway. Listen close, I got something to say. Safety first on this asphalt river. Keep awake, keep alert, don't shiver.